Hi, everyone, and welcome to Chefs in Training. This is a program that was initiated by Chep Good Food Incorporated. This program evolved from the Kids Kitchen program that was being run in schools in partnership with the Greater Saskatoon Catholic Schools and their foundation. Chefs in Training is designed to help children, youth, and adults develop basic kitchen skills and improve their nutrition knowledge. This is a 5-week program. Each week contains different education and skill building objectives and a culture question. All of these work together to help the following goals: supporting students or youth in acquiring important skills such as food safety, safe food handling, kitchen safety, and food preparation skills; supporting students who are major caregivers for their younger siblings by giving them the opportunity to learn how to cook a variety of nutritious meals; promoting healthy eating and increased awareness of nutrition, enabling students to bring home healthy foods for their family; and exploring the different cultures, especially around food in our community. We hope that you enjoy these sessions.
Good day, everyone. My name is Monica Brescia, and welcome to session 2 of Chefs in Training. Today, we're going to be making chicken wraps, why we learn about food safety. And the culture question that we're going to be discussing is, what does culture look like in your family?
Wash your hands. Steps in washing your hands is wet your hands, apply soap, and scrub for at least 15 seconds. You scrub the back of your hands, your wrists, between your fingers, under your fingernails, and the palm of your hands. Then you rinse your hands, dry with paper towel, and use the paper towel to turn off the water. Your next step is to wash your vegetables. It's simply a matter of running them under water, rubbing them with your clean hands, and taking off any excess dirt or germs. So now we're going to prep our vegetables. Lettuce. To shred the lettuce, just pile a few leaves on top of each other and cut. Remember, as always, to keep your fingers curled under. Peppers. And then using a smaller knife, we're going to take out the stem and the seed. We're going to chop it into small strips. That will make it easier to dice up and give you more uniform sizes. Monica is curling her fingers under to help prevent cutting her fingers while she is dicing and chopping. Next, you're going to use the side of that large knife and push down on the garlic and kind of move it in a paddling motion out into the side and back. You can do this a couple times, and then it helps make the garlic easier to chop up. And then you do it a couple more times, and that way your garlic is now nice and chopped up or pureed, depending on how much you do it. If you're at home and you have a garlic press, please feel free to use that instead. Our next vegetable that we're going to do is to chop up our onion. First, we're going to cut it in half, leaving the little tuft of hair on the onion, so part of it is on each half of the onion. Then we peel our onion. And we make slices into the onion that is not quite all the way through to the cutting board. This way, it helps hold the onion together and it's much easier to chop. Tomatoes. To dice your tomatoes, sometimes depending on the type of tomato you are using, you will have to remove the center core as it can be very hard sometimes. Since we are using beefsteak tomatoes, we have removed the core and continue on to slice and dice them. Today's learning objective is food safety. There are 4 steps to take to reduce the risk of foodborne illnesses. They are clean, chill, separate, and cook. As we prepare our dish, we will be talking about some of these various areas and how to do them. Clean. It is very important to start with clean equipment. It is important to wash your hands and to wash all your vegetables. For chicken, it is important to keep it chilled at the right temperature until it is ready to cut. Some people prefer their chicken to be in strips when it is cooked. However, today we will be cutting it into strips and then dicing it. To prevent cross-contamination, it is important to Separate your raw meat from your vegetables. Once you are done cutting the chicken, it is important that everything the chicken touched is put into the sink and washed and sanitized. This very much is important as chicken contains salmonella, and you do not want to get salmonella on any fresh vegetables. When we start assembling, everything will be clean. Again, the cutting boards, the knives, everything that is being used will be clean. The chicken is cooked at a medium to high heat, which is about a number 7 on your stove. To cook the chicken, we will be using water in the frying pan instead of oil. This will help us to reduce the fat content. We will sprinkle the chicken with 1.5 teaspoons of cumin. At this point, if you want to, you can add other seasonings also, like oregano, pepper, or even chili peppers. If you have a meat thermometer, find a large piece of chicken and insert the meat thermometer so it does not go all the way through and does not touch the bottom or the side of the pan. The temperature of the chicken should be 74 degrees Celsius. In a separate frying pan, place the onions and peppers and some water. Once again, we are using a bit of water instead of oil, and cook until the peppers and onions are tender. To assemble your chicken wrap, start with a little bit of lettuce. Again, there are other alternatives that you can use. Some people prefer their salsa and their sour cream on the side. Some tomatoes. Your meat and pepper mixture. Again, we went with a mild salsa, but if you like it medium or spicy, please feel free to add that instead. And some salsa. You can also change the spice of your salsa. Fold the bottom part of the tortilla up and scooch it back some. On the sides, you will tuck them in and then fold it over and then finish rolling it up. And that's a wrap.
Session 2, what does culture look like in your family? So building off of what we talked about in the first session, the fact that culture can look different in individuals and in communal spaces, it also looks different in the home, with family. Whether that family takes place in a singular home or across multiple homes, those are cultural differences, just differences in how people live their lives and where their values are and how they choose to actuate themselves in the world because of those things. There's a lot of things kind of in the background that influence our decisions, and some of those aspects are different aspects of culture. Sometimes in the home you might even have a bit of a culture clash. For example, growing up, I came from a home where I have an Indigenous father, and my mother is from more of the European people group. And so, but my dad didn't grow up with his traditions of, his ancestors because of colonialism. So there's a few different kind of layers already of culture kind of stacked on top of my parents, and then of course they have a family, so that creates a new culture, a new way of them kind of deciding, all right, I do it this way, we do it that way, how are we going to do it together, sort of thing. And that's of course not a completely unique experience. Some families are kind of more on the traditional sense, where they might just kind of keep doing what their parents did, and then it just kind of keeps going on down. That's a little bit more of a tradition kind of based family. And yeah, family culture can look different every single time. And it's really hard, of course, to talk about that when I only have my own family to speak of. And of course, I'm married now, I have a wife, and so we have our own culture that we get to shape and form, and how is our home fire going to be? Everyone has that opportunity. So yeah, there's lots to talk about and lots to figure out. So have fun talking about culture with your family.
Even though I ate a chocolate chip cookie before this, I can really taste the flavor.
And you have a little guy peeking over your shoulders.
And your red curry Thai pasta. Pasta in the. Oh, Henry!